wonderful.
We call it the happy place.
Uh-huh.
You feel all this amazing energy. Don't they look good, too? Look at them. Now, I got to get into this because you just made it to the happy place, and we're so grateful to have you. So we were out here talking about, like, making plans and what's acceptable or not. I want to ask you, how late is too late to show up to scheduled plans?
Well, I'm Canadian, so nothing. You can't show up 1 minute late without feeling tremendous guilt and apologizing.
Really?
Yes. So for me, yeah, that's the problem with being Canadian is you're just rushing to everything going, I can't be late.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't be invited to nothing else. That's for sure.
You noticed I haven't invited you.
Is that why I haven't gotten an invite?
Yeah. Where is Jennifer?
But I would make it up once I get there. Then you would have to put me out because I stayed too long.
I would know.
You can't make it up.
You come to my house, you can stay as long as you want.
I can.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to that now. And we're going to hold you as long as we can because we're so grateful to have you here. Thank you so much for being here.
I will be here.
Now, I will ask you, if someone invites you to a group gathering, is it okay if you ask who's there or not?
I think you can, but you've got to do it in an excited way.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't go, wait a minute, wait. Who's coming? You can't do that.
So it's
but if you go, oh my God, thank you for inviting me. Who else is coming?
We're going to use that one.
You do that.
That's the key right there.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
See, this is why you get to host Elton John at dinner parties?
What? Oh, good Lord.
Who hosts Elton John at dinner parties, guys?
Yes, they had their AIDS Foundation dinner last night, raised another millions of dollars, as they do every year. I'm so proud of them. David Furnish and I went to high school together, and so I met Elton years and years ago. And the first time we ever had them over to the house, we had a new piano, courtesy of something I'd done for Elton. And I got a wine or two in me, and I said, Elton, you're going to have to christen the piano.
Did he?
So he gets up without saying a word, and he comes over, he sits down at the piano, and this is the moment I really wanted to prove to him that I know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
I'm not going to say Rocket Man like some schmuck. So I said, I've seen that movie too, from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And he looked up at me and said, oh, I don't remember that song.
Oh my God. I gotta ask, was Elton on time for the gathering?
Elton and David were on time for that dinner. Yes, they were. And they left very swiftly. They ate, and it was like, we gotta go. I played a little piano, gotta go.
That's amazing. Man, could I buy the piano that he played on?
That's the one thing I will never give up.
You have to keep it and cherish that. That's special.
My son.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Woo, that man can play a piano. Okay, now we all love some Will and Grace. That show. Woo, baby. But tell me, your first love is theater.
Yeah, I mean, theaters, I think I was almost 30 before I did a television audition. It was all theater through high school and through my 20s.
Yeah? Well, okay, so what was the transition like for you, going from theater to television?
I remember I moved from Toronto to Vancouver because there was so much going on in Vancouver 1,000 years ago. In fact, the X-Files had just started. That's how long ago it was. It was 92. Whoa. And I got an audition for it. They had just done a few episodes, and I hadn't seen it yet. No one had seen it yet. So I went into audition for a general or, I don't know, some soldier. And at the end of the audition, Chris Carter said, yeah, try it again. Just do less. So I did it again. I did a little less. One more time, just less.
Bring
less.
it
And
down.
I think that happened 4 times. And finally I said, hey, look, if I do less than that, I'll be doing nothing. And he said, yeah, I'd love that if you could do it.
Ah.
And I had no idea what he was talking about until I saw Duchovny in the first episode and went, oh, okay. So my transition was slow. And just as I was starting to get it, I got a sitcom, so that screwed everything up.
I mean, you got it right. I love how you slipped that in there. Yes.
Well, because then it becomes big again, right? So it really wasn't for years after that I found that sort of that Duchovny sort of quiet thing, which is fun to do when you can do it.
Man, that is amazing. But on Broadway, you work with the legendary James Earl Jones.
Yes, the late.
Late great.
That was wow. That's 13 years ago. It was 2012, a revival of a Gore Vidal play called The Best Man. It was James Earl Jones, Angela Lansbury, Michael McKean, John Larroquette. It was Candice Bergen. It was an amazing cast. Yeah, and I had the first act. It was 3 acts. It was an old-fashioned long play, but the first act ends with Mike. Oh, there's the two of us there. My candidate, a young, sort of almost like a young Richard Nixon kind of character, and his candidate, sort of nose to nose. And it didn't start nose to nose. I think the first preview, we were about a foot apart, and he was growling. I made no way that. And I think by the 8th preview, he was right up against me.
Wow.
Like, every night I'm like, James Earl Jones is right in my face. This is amazing.
That is amazing.
No one else like him.
No one else. So, Eric, 27 years since Will and Grace?
27 years, yes.
That is amazing. I think this is one of everybody's favorite shows. At least I know it is for me.
Thank you.
Now, do people still approach you about the show?
Yeah, in fact, it seems almost to be building. Of course, now you can find things, any shows you can find anywhere. We're on Hulu, I believe, but every day there's someone who has a story about how it helped them in their life, or helped their mother see them differently, or changed their household because they watched it all together. Which, of course, that's what we're missing, right? I mean, the old days, you had to gather around, and suddenly a whole family is watching a show that has 2 gay characters in it, and that can change an entire family dynamic.
That's the power of art.
A lot about.
That's the power of art. So I know that gotta, like, it says a lot to the work that you do. And it was a lot of kissing on the show, Will and Grace. Do you remember your most memorable kissing
Well, I mean,
scene?
in the beginning, it was all Deborah Messing getting all the kissing. And it was, and I'd go and go, come on, it's like there's gay characters here. See, even there I'm kissing Deborah. But it's like, when does Will get some action?
Yes.
So it started, and it's sort of built. Well, first I started kissing Jack. That was it. We shot that in New York, live at the Today Show. I'd have to say, in many ways, the most memorable was one that almost went unnoticed, because by season 7 or so, everyone knew what the show was. Lots of guest stars, Will Truman married Taye Diggs in my apartment. Had a civil ceremony. We had a kiss, a white man and a black man, and Hall & Oates were singing in the apartment. And the next day, nobody was talking about it. I was like, look, Hall & Oates right there. So, I think the next day, that's when I realized, Taye is an awesome guy. That's the day I realized we've made some kind of an impact.
Yes.
We can do that at 9 o'clock on a Thursday night.
That's
and
true.
have, 18 million people watching, and it's
That's definitely unforgettable. That's for sure. Okay, now talk to us about your new show, 9 Bodies in a Mexican Morgue. Tell us what it's about.
First of all, I love the title so much.
Title.
9 Bodies in a Mexican Morgue. And so, of course, because it all takes place in Mexico, we shot it in Spain, because that's how the world works. In fact, we shot a lot of it in a studio in Spain, but it's a great. It begins. I can say this. It started last night. It's available. The first episode's available now on MGM+. It begins with a plane crash and the survivors and the Mexican authorities trying to find us, and a lot of very unexpected things start to happen. It was a pretty exciting thing to shoot.
Wow, y'all make sure you check it out.